ushindi kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote, tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika. Chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us make Africa the tree of life. My name is Kato Mukasa. I'm a Ugandan lawyer interested in issues, humanism, human rights, development, economics, and of course, issues to do with Ubuntu. We are Humanist TV Africa. Our interest is generally to give you what the mainstream media doesn't give you, bring to you topics which others don't actually discuss. And right now, we are doing country profiles to show you what is inside Africa. In the studio is Hussein Baya, based in Kenya, to do the production. I want to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel, which is Humanist TV Africa. And also our Facebook is the same name. We are Humanist TV Africa. You can search us in Google and the name will come, Humanist TV Africa. And I want to encourage you to please subscribe. Please subscribe. Get the numbers increase so we can make the numbers and we can reach many people. You can write to us at info. Our email is info@humanisttvafrica.com. And our WhatsApp number is right there. Our communication officer will be able to talk with you. If you want to work with us, you're welcome. If you want us to open up a studio in your country, you are welcome. At the moment, we are looking for volunteers and interns to work with us. Today, we are talking about Somalia. Very beautiful country. A stretch of a country in a place, region, we have called the Horn of Africa. Somalia is beautiful, with about 18 million people, with a GDP of only $11 billion. Somalia is a struggling economy, despite the fact that Somalia has so much wealth. Somalia has minerals. People don't talk about. What you normally hear about Somalia are the pirates and the conflicts and the war and the battles and the bombings and the Muslim extremists. This is what you hear about Somalia. The people are fighting. Clans are killing each other, clan after clan, clan against clan. They are all having guns, tribal clashes. All we hear about Somalia are refugees People running away from Somalia. All you hear about Somalia is famine, that they don't have food. People are dying. The Somalis, the Brownies, as some people call them, are known for violence. But is that true? I don't think so. I think there is another Somalia that you don't know. Welcome to yet another episode that is going to open to you your visibility about Somalia. Somalia is a beautiful country, and it's not a country that is dying. It's a country with loving people, with handsome men and very beautiful women. Yes, Somalis are very beautiful women, and strictly cultural, and very spiritual, and very religious. Let us look at Somalia in pictorial, and then we shall continue to digest and dissect what Somalia is. Baya is going to be showing us these images, starting with the maps. Let us look at Somalia and the information about Somalia. Now, Somalia, as you can see from your screen, it is a country in Africa, specifically from the Horn of Africa or Eastern Africa. In fact, Somalia is part of the countries that make up the East African community. Somalia joined a few months ago. As you can see, Somalia is right there. Somalia is right there. It was colonized by the Italians and then, of course, occupied by the British. Now, that is Somalia. Let us look at other maps. That is the map of Somalia. Quite beautiful map. The blue and the white star. Somalia is beautiful. Look at Somalia. Now, it's a stretch. I call it a stretch. And of course, when you look at Somalia, the cities there, Sanaga, Moga, Nodug, Nogal, Galgug, some hard names there, Balgodom, and these are the names of Somalia, of course, and the cities Bay and others, Hillblan, Backdoor, Gebdo, and other areas. And you can see that Somalia is surrounded by water. That's why people talk about pirates of Somalia. Yes, Somalia is surrounded by a bit of a water stretch, though it has neighbors in terms of countries. But let us look at other maps very fast. Now, this is Somalia. Again, this is Somalia. You can see Somalia is surrounded, has neighbors apart from the equator passing down there, and of course the Gulf of Eden, as it is known, the Gulf of Eden. We have Ethiopia just as a neighbor. We have Eritrea. We have Djibouti, and we have Yemen up there. And of course you can see other areas of Somalia, Karawi, Gadigo, Boko, Berbera, Hagesha, Badasara, and all these other names like Beredenia and Shuta. Look, these are names of popular cities of Somalia. Now, here in this another map of Africa, you can see Somaliland and of course Ethiopia and Somalia. Now, people sometimes confuse Somaliland and Somalia. Yes, Somaliland is there, but also Somalia. Somalia is composed of 5 states that came together to make one country, Somalia. That's why they're having clashes, because tribal chiefs, tribal chiefs, and become tribal warlords. Each tribe thinks they should be able to be in charge of their own territory. That's what makes Somalia bitter. Now, Somalia is rich. Did you know that Somalia has so many minerals, such as copper, gypsum, iron ore, manganese, salt, tin, uranium, cotton. Somalia has sugarcane. It has bananas. It has, of course, field crops such as maize, sorghum, vegetables, and grazing. But Somalia has serious gardens. I've been watching documentaries on Somalia. They have very good gardens. They have very good agriculture down there in Somalia. So Somalia is not dying, as actual people claim. And of course, when you look at this other map of Somalia, you will see the vegetation areas, and of course, you'll see the geographical locations of some of these historical sites. and of course, the areas of green vegetation and possibly good agriculture efforts. So you cannot say that Somalia actually lacks food. These are natural resources map. You can see where natural resources in Somalia are located. We talked about copper, we talked about cotton, we talked about all these other minerals right in Somalia. Let us go to the other map of the other, yes, there. Somalia is a country at the Gulf of Aden and the Gulf of Aden in Eastern Africa. The land has a total area of 637 7,000 kilometers, which is about 246 miles, square miles, and a total coastline of 3,025 kilometers, which is about 1,879 miles. Now, this land area is approximately 92% of the area of Texas. They want to compare Somalia with Texas. If you know Texas, that is Somalia. Now, Somalia is thus the 19th biggest country in Africa. It is bigger. As you can see, the stretch is big. It is the 19th biggest country in Africa. And in terms of area, it is ranked 43 worldwide. It's not a small piece. It's a big piece. It's a stretch, as you can see. Now, this is a brief history of Somalia. Somalia is located in the Horn of Africa, which is part of Eastern Africa. Somalia is located in East Africa. Its neighbors are Ethiopia, Djibouti, Kenya. Somalia people are believed to have their origins in the north of Somalia. Somalia was created in 1960 from a former British protectorate and an Italian colony. First an Italian colony, then it became a British protectorate. Somalia formally achieved its independence from the United Nations to a strip under the Italian administration on July 1st, 1960. Somalia collapsed into anarchy following the overthrow of the military regime of President Siad Barre in 1991. I remember Siad Barre. So when he was overthrown, Somalia descended into trouble. If you have watched movies like Black Hawk Down, it gives you a summary of what Somalia became. Somalis are not Arabs. I have to emphasize, Somalis are not Arabs or Middle Eastern. They are not Jews, they are not Arabs. In fact, they follow similar Islamic practices and customs to other majority Muslim countries. However, they are not located in the Middle East and they are ethnically Somali, not Arab. In fact, if you call a Somalian Arab, they get annoyed. I've got clients as Somalis. When you call them, are you an Arab? They'll tell you that's an insult. They are not Arabs. They are not from the Middle East. They are Africans. Statistically, Somalia DNA is 60% East African and 40% West Eurasian, 25% West Asian, and 15% North African. You can see. Now, Somali, what makes them unique? When you look at a Somali, doesn't look like me. Their hair is different. Their skin texture is different. Why? Their DNA is my DNA plus 40% of it is Western Eurasian. They have links with Europe. Now, 25% of their DNA is also Western Asian. They are partly Asian, they are partly European, and they are largely East African. Those are Somalis. That's why they look like not most of us in sub-Saharan Africa. They look like Asians, not Asians. They look like Europeans, not Europeans. They look like Africans, not Africans. They are just in between there. Why? Because their DNA is partly East African, partly West Eurasian, and partly North African. And North Africa is much of Arabic. Now, that is their ancestry, and that is the Somali population. There are about 18 million people in Somalia, and Somalia has 5 member states. Now, Somaliland is the safest area of or region of the current 5 member states that make together the Federal Republic of Somalia. It is only Somaliland. Remember, they have states. All these states have been at war for a long time. Thank you so much, Hussein Baya. Let us continue with this discussion on this beautiful country, Somalia. Somalia. Somalia is beautiful. Look at that. And look at their president there swearing in just a few years ago. And that is Somalia. That is Somalia. Somalia, a country of wonders. Somalia, a beautiful country that actually has a lot in common with many countries in Africa. That is Somalia. That's their president. Their president is called Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. My producer is Hussein, but the president of Somalia is Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. He became the president of Somalia in May 2022. Let us continue with our explanation of what is happening in Somalia. Now, Somalia has waters, remember? Somalia has waters. Remember the pirates? But that's another story. Somalia is beautiful. You can look at that beautiful picture. That is Somalia's coast. That is Somalia's sky. Beautiful place, beautiful environment, beautiful people right in Somalia. Let us continue watching other images right from Somalia. Now, this is Somalia. I'm going to show you the downside of Somalia. The downside of Somalia, which sometimes the media will show you, is the war, it's the famine, it's the planes crashing because they've been shot down in Somalia, cars getting bombed, and floods. Now, I'm showing you, first of all, the negative side of Somalia. Because of the conflicts between tribes, ethnic groupings, the 5 states always fighting, there is famine. Sometimes there have been floods, of course, due to nature. People always moving here and there. Refugees are quite many out of Somalia. And of course, hitting cars and hitting planes to the ground because it has been a war zone for a long time. Ugandan soldiers have been in Somalia for over 15 years. UPDF, soldiers from Uganda, have been in Somalia to keep peace, as they call it, for over 15 years. Now, this is Somalia. Partly it is the desert, but also partly it's agricultural land. You can see people are farming. They have camels, they have goats. In fact, Somalis are known for consuming so much meat. Yet, surprisingly, Somalis are naturally small-bodied people. Yet, they eat lots of beef, lots of camel meat, and lots of goat meat. But they are farmers, as you can see in the images there. They do take care of their farms, but also they are cattle keepers, they are goat keepers, they are sheep keepers. Those are the Somalis you can see in that image. Let us continue very, very fast, showcasing Somalia. Somalia has food. They are telling you like that Somalis have no food. That is food right there. Somalis have maize and plenty of it. And in fact, if Somalia had peace, Somalia would be feeding some countries in East Africa. Somalia has food. Look at that food right there. All that is from Somalia. But sometimes, because of the insurgencies, because of the conflicts, people cannot settle down to dig. That's why Somalia is always under famine. But Somalia has good land and Somalia has food. Let us continue with other images. Now, there have been a campaign to get water in the cities of Somalia. These ladies here have been having an NGO through which they campaign for water for all. The campaign has been water for all. But of course, because of the conflict, as you can see, the fires right there, people are fighting. Sometimes even NGOs find it very hard to operate in Somalia. Let us continue having other images of Somalia. Very, very fast, we have other images of Somalia. Now, these are Somalis in a campaign to get water for all. They've been having a campaign to take water in Mogadishu and, of course, other cities. This is an NGO. You see how women dress in Somalia? They are very much influenced by their Arabic culture. These women are beautiful, but they can cover from head to toe. It's hard to look at a Somali's face. Yes, I've seen them in Uganda, I've seen them in Kenya. They cover themselves, they have a religion, they have a culture. Their culture is fused with Arabic religion. They cover themselves. And of course, there are those tribes which like tattoos, as you can see. You can see the tax park there in Mogadishu. You can see the rural area of Somalia, the markets of Somalia. There is life, basically. If there was no war, as it has been in the last few years, Somalia will be developing. You can see people have food, people are going to their farms, taxis are working, tax packs are working, markets are working, and people having their life. That is Somalia. Not everyone actually looks the same as the other. There are different ethnicities, different tribes. They have different skin color. Others are black, others are very brown. Those are Somalis. They're a bit mixed people from different states. I told you they have 5 states, which is different ethnicities. Look at Somalia's Mogadishu, the capital city, and look at these beautiful ladies of Somalia, the way they have dressed in their national colors and the flag. Yes, that is Somalia. Those are the beauties of Somalia, right? They are very beautiful women there, very, very influenced by their culture. Somalis love their culture. Somalis are largely Muslims. Somalis are largely Muslims. They follow the Arabic language. A man in Somalia is about to have 4 women. I don't know whether women like this, but many men in Somalia actually have 4 wives. Yes, have 4 wives, and they're very private. If you went to visit a Somali's home, you may not actually see the wife. You're more likely to see the children. The wife is normally in the kitchen there, they're hidden there. They don't even come to visit to check on visitors. They keep them very privately. They are very, very religious. And the men in Somalia are very assertive. They want leadership. Men in Somalia are very assertive. They always want to be on the top of things. That's why there are so many clashes between clans. Everyone wants to be assertive, wants to be a leader. That kind of assertiveness among men, but also the subjugation of women. Yes, the subjugation of women in Somalia. Somalia is a beautiful country. They have resources. They have a good environment. They have a coastline. They have all these water bodies. They can trade with Yemen. They can trade with Europe. They can trade with China. They have it all. If at all Somalia was to keep it peaceful, my advice as a person here from Humans TV Africa is Somalis make peace, not war. Somalis make peace, not war. If necessary, make love between tribesmen, between ethnicity clubs, between your groups, than making war. Wage peace, make love, do not make war, because your country is great and your country can be peaceful and can go very far if you made more peace than waging war. Somalia is a good country, and yes, Somalia has a prospect for development. That is Somalia in a minute. See you in the next one. Remember, subscribe to Humans TV Africa. Subscribe to Humans TV Africa. The link is right there. Please subscribe. And of course, see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.